we can try it and have a session and see if it ends up, if we end up having the discussion. I mean, it seems like we're just we're high level on budget, and it happened during the budget hearings, it happened the first court, it happened this time during budget and during the court, where we happened to kind of sidetrack from some of the funding issues into more policy discussions, and then we're not able to fully have the discussion because we're trying to get through the agenda.
Certainly, what we can propose is a couple things. One, the way we do it now was created by Dr. Raycraft, who spent a lot of time on policy issues. He was always the person who would bring it together and study it, and that was really his expertise as far as policy issues. It's been kind of the basket approach. We get things during the year, we put it in the basket, we put it forth here for general discussion, and then we would write them up, some of them that were the operational type issues. So what we can do is I think we would start with basically each court member having a representative that meets with my group and the county attorney, and just saying how would a process go forward.
Yeah, I think maybe I need, and the way I'm hearing also is not necessarily that we're working toward a document. I mean, a document may come out of this, a quick document, something like this, that's very broad that people can read. But ultimately, I see it as an avenue for us to be able to get things done and be effective in the issue areas that we all have in common. So maybe, and tell me, Robert, if this is okay, but perhaps I could make a motion that the budget director work with our staffs, and we put together a quick working group to figure out a process for developing common policies with the input of best practices. I want to know what's the best way to do this, because I think some counties have it figured out. Just as I look at the kind of stuff they're working on, it's like, man, how do they do that? We'll take a look at that.
And again, for instance, like King County is a home rule. They're more like the city of Houston. They make their own rules up. But we'll look around at counties that are similar to us, how they do it. But I think that we would bring back some options to you, and then you would tell us, we like this one or we like this one. Again, the whole budget process, I plan to move forward 3 months, so you have a lot of problems. It's not right at the last minute, and then that gets us prepared for when we change the fiscal year. We can do policy issues the same way, but that doesn't exclude any person or department bringing something forward to have y'all vote on.
No, it's not changing the process in any way. It's just seeing whether it may be helpful to have sort of a side opportunity for us to maybe work effectively on some of the issues we have in common. So that's my motion.
Second.
Do you guys have? Yeah.
I like this. You want to talk?
No. I would like to think that elections mean something, and I believe that people have an idea, probably when they're voting for members of Commissioners Court, their general feelings on things. And I would like to just mention that I think that people elect someone they expect to represent them, and many people have no problem contacting an elected official and telling their opinion. However, as we go down this road, if we're basically going to have tons of time being spent to try to figure out what people want us to do, I would submit to you that some of us have a problem. Because I feel pretty strongly that my constituents kind of know that I listen to them, but also I think they have an idea of what I'm going to do. And if they don't want me to do it, they'll voice their opinion. So I'm just saying is this government, which you can talk about whatever you want to talk about as far as change or whatever. We are changing. We are changing. We're becoming a body that's very indecisive. And the things of these meetings indicates that. So I'm going to just throw out to you that we go into executive session. County attorney says, let's settle this or not do this or let's sue whatever. We're not going to have a public meeting on that. How many people want to sue Dow Chemical? Call us. So I'm just saying that I watched Squatty Lines. We're going back now 30 years ago. I watched him. He was very careful to point out about the importance of Commissioners Court being able to make decisions and not shy away from being able to make a decision. So I'm just throwing out to you, as we have to have work group after work group after work group. Hey, it sounds good, but you asked a question during budget. How many people are here from the general public? And I think there wasn't anybody. We can promote. We've got Facebook going. We've got live streaming going on.
We live stream too.
Huh?
We live stream too.
We live stream too.
Yeah, and so my point here is this. Hey, fire marshal needed to be here the other day, 3 weeks ago. Needed 3 rooms to be in. Some people left madder than heck because they didn't get to see you, because that's why they came. But the reality is, look how many people are here now. We're spending a lot of money today, making a lot of decisions. Very few people here. We invite them. Some people, maybe we're going to cut our audience by having more people watching it on TV. That's fine. But I know this. I don't pick on the sheriff. He doesn't get to go out and say, what do you want me to do? He was elected to do it. He did it yesterday. He went to the scene of the shooting. I mean, he did his job. I'm saying to you, we can do our job, but I personally, hey, some people disagree with what I do, and that's fine. That's why they can vote. But I try to listen to people. I try to contact them. I respond to them. And I'm just making a comment. If this Commissioner's Court is going to be one that basically tries to see which way the wind is blowing, or doesn't have, confidence, shall I say. I mean, I think a number of good people got elected. I don't care. I think it would be great to give some of these elected officials raises. I don't care if they don't give me one, that's fine. But the point I'm making to you is, hey, you better man up to this. Stand up and be counted. And there's not one single vote in here I won't make. I'll make a vote, unless because my kid works for Phonoscope, but I can't vote for that. But the point I'm making is, I'm not going to shy away from making a vote. And really, in our heart of hearts, I think most of us know how we want to vote, and probably how we are going to vote. And the reality is, if we got to go out and recruit people to come here to Commissioner's Court and support our independent cause when we got 4.5 million people living here, I think that's a heck of a message.
Yeah, I think we're talking about 2 different things. So one is
I don't think we're
the
talking about-
public
Wait, I can't-
consultation aspect of things, which is, if we want people to know understand the budget so that they can have a say in it if they want to. One thing is live streaming it. Another thing is going to the community. You can say we got $1 billion, come apply, or you can hire people, as Daphne's going to be doing. You can bring people up and hire them to go out into the communities and tell people, hey, you need to apply for this. This is what it's about. So what we're talking about, same with the voting centers. They can say, look, I have a website, a link online, or they can show up to Commissioner Cagle's precincts, not just in one location, but in multiple locations that make sense. That's public consultation. That's one thing. Another thing is, we have new ideas in this court on issues that haven't come up before. It's not that we're being slow on the issues that have come up before. We're approving $1 billion. We're moving. We've made a decision on the salary. We're not going to do that right now. We're not comfortable with it. Everything we're deciding on. But we also have new ideas. And we can't communicate on them because there's open meetings. So the way to hash them out quickly and decide what's the motion that's going to come on the table might be for us to just get together and talk. We can't get together if it's not a public meeting. So here we go.
Well, and when you're out in the public space, Judge, and people say, "Oh, great, I support you," and where do I get a yard sign? But what's a commissioner's court? What's a commissioner do? I think this process of engagement, I think is an important one to meet the spirit of what our work is at this table. It doesn't mean indecision. It means trying to get to a good decision where yeah, look, I made a lot of decisions and I'll stand by them all. And But should we not try to make the community who's paying for the work here a part of that process? I think we should be working very, very tirelessly to open the doors of this process, so that people from all walks of life. I'd like to see a day where we have translation services of this work being done in the same languages that we voted. That doesn't mean it changes my mind any, but it just means we've opened the doors of our democracy to a whole lot of other people who may not feel otherwise welcome.
I think we're making progress. This is just the second meeting. I look forward to being, I miss you all for 13 days in between this. We're getting there. This is wonderful. So let's keep going.
So we had a motion on the table, which was for Bill to work with our offices to think about